topic is expenditure minimization subject to the utility constraint. What we have been discussing so far was the opposite. We were discussing utility maximization subject to the budget constraint. So in all our previous classes, our focus was on the constraint optimization, in which the objective of consumer was to maximize the utility with the given budget constraint. But today we are going to discuss the other way around. It's called the expenditure minimization problem, in which there is a fixed level of utility which consumer want to attain, and in order to attain that fixed level of utility, consumer would like to spend as minimum as possible. So it's a case of expenditure minimization in order to obtain the given level of utility. Okay, so what's the case here? Okay, so this is the case here. You can read from the slide that we have to minimize the expenditure. What is expenditure? You know that price of a commodity into the amount of a commodity, it's equal to the income. X stands for commodity and P stands for the price. And your utility level is, utility is the function of the commodities. You can take two commodities, you can take more than two commodities. So I have written it for n number of commodities. So in this case, the constraint is utility, which is the function of x1, x2, x3 up to xn. And the budget constraint is m is equal to summation pi xi if there are n number of commodities. So you all have the idea that if we have a case of constraint optimization, we have to construct the Lagrangian function. So the Lagrangian function is constructed here. You can see that in this Lagrangian function, the objective function is the budget. So we have taken sum of pi xi as the objective function. If there are only two commodities, then it will be p1 x1 plus p2 x2. If there are three commodities, it will be p1 x1 plus p2 x2 plus p3 x3. So we have written it for n number of commodities. That's the objective function plus the Lagrangian multiplier lambda, and then the utility constraint. You know that constraint is always set equal to 0. So our utility function was like this. Utility is the function of x1, x2, x3, xn. Moreover, the utility was constant. That's why we put a bar on it. So this is the Lagrangian function. One more thing here to be noted, that the Lagrangian multiplier which we wrote here, it's not lambda, it's lambda prime. Just to differentiate between the two Lagrangian multipliers. When we discussed the case of utility maximization, we used the Lagrangian multiplier, we called it lambda. And just to differentiate this one from that lambda, we are calling it lambda prime. Why we need to differentiate? Because both have the different interpretations, both have the different meanings. And then in our coming lectures, we'll use these two lambdas together in our analysis. So for that purpose, we need to have some different names. So that's why to one we have called lambda, and to this one we have called lambda prime. So lambda prime means the Lagrangian multiplier, which we have used for a case of expenditure minimization, and simple lambda means Lagrangian multiplier, which we have used for the case of utility maximization. So the first step would be to construct the Lagrangian function. So we have constructed the Lagrangian function. L is the notation for Lagrangian function. L is equal to summation pi xi. You know this is the expenditure equation, plus the Lagrangian multiplier, and then within bracket we have the constraint. So if you have any questions so far, you can ask. Okay, if there is no question, then you have the idea that from the Lagrangian function, we'll have to obtain the first order conditions. So we are going to obtain the first order conditions here. So what we'll do, we'll differentiate Lagrangian function with respect to each of the commodity. So here we have taken n number of commodities. So I have just written that partial derivative of the Lagrangian function with respect to xi. With respect to xi. So xi is the commodity. It can be X1, it can be X2, it can be X3. If there are n number of commodities, then you will have n equations. For example, you have a case in which there are only two commodities, so you will get two derivatives. Curly L over curly X1 and then curly L over curly X2. If you have three commodities, you will get three derivatives. So when you will differentiate this particular equation, which is the Lagrangian function, say you are taking the derivative with respect to x, so the derivative of x is 1, so we left with only p, it's written here p, and then plus the Lagrangian multiplier here, lambda prime, and then you can see that within the bracket, this is a constant term, its derivative will be 0, and this is the utility function. When you will differentiate utility function with respect to x1, you will get marginal utility of x1. When you will differentiate utility function with respect to x2, you will get marginal utility of x2. So we have written this small ui as the marginal utility. I can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up till n. So in this way, this is the first equation of the first order conditions. How many equations you will have here? It depends upon how many commodities are there. If there are two commodities, then you will have two equations. If there are three commodities, you will have three equations. So for the time being, we will have n number of equations because we are saying that there are n number of commodities. After differentiating the Lagrangian functions with respect to each xi and putting them equal to 0, we'll take a derivative of the Lagrangian function with respect to lambda, and that will also be put equal to 0. So here one thing is missing, you should make it clear. Here one thing is missing in this equation. The last equation should be written as equal to 0. So make it a correction, please. The last equation, curly L over curly lambda prime is equal to u prime minus u, which is the function of x1, x2 up till xn. This should be written as equal to 0. So this is a small typo, hope you will correct it. So we applied the first order conditions. If there is any question regarding the first order conditions, then you can ask now.
Sir, ये U bar से क्या होना?
Utility level is given, fixed.
सही.
Sir, why do we take the derivative with respect to lambda prime?
This is the first order condition. Now look here, in Lagrangian function, there are basically two variables. Not the two variables, there are two different types of variable. One is the lambda. Lambda is something which is also to be optimized. And the other are the x variables, x1, x2, x3. So according to first order condition, we have to differentiate with respect to each variable which is to be optimized. So we differentiated with respect to all xi, and then we differentiated with respect to lambda as well. And same we did when we were discussing a case of utility maximization.
Yeah, but what is the interpretation of when we take the derivative with respect to lambda prime?
Yes. We will discuss it. We will discuss all the interpretations. Same we did in case of utility maximization. We'll discuss the interpretation. Okay. For the time being, just stick to the first order conditions. So we got the first order conditions here. Okay, now you all know it, that if we simultaneously solve these first order conditions, we'll get the demand functions. If we simultaneously solve these first order conditions, we will get the demand function. Okay, the solution of first order conditions will yield the demand functions. Okay, now since you know that it's a case of it's something wrong is written here. Solution of first order conditions will yield not utility maximization. ये गलत लिखा हुआ है, इसको कट कर लीजिएगा प्लीज. मैं भी प्रेजेंटेशन में दोबारा कट करके आपको अपलोड कर दूंगा. ये होना चाहिए, the solution of first order condition will yield expenditure minimizing consumption patterns such that quantitative mandate will be the function of prices and given income. Because here, you know it, look at this one, that we are going to minimize the expenditure. So these demand functions will be expenditure minimizing, not the utility minimizing. And these demand functions will be those at which the utility level will be same, because utility is held constant. We'll get something like this, that x will be the function of prices and the given level of utility. Just recall the Marshallian demand functions. The Marshallian demand functions were also the function of prices, but along with prices, they were the function of given M, given income. So these are the functions of given level of utility. So just recall in Marshallian demand function, we gave different names to the Marshallian demand function. One of the name was money income held constant demand function, because in that case your income was held constant, and here in this case your utility is held constant. So they are also known. So these are also known as utility held constant demand functions, right? And their other name is the Hicksian demand function, right? So you can also call them expenditure minimizing demand function with the given level of utility. And then there is another name, that's the compensated demand function. I'll discuss this name in detail, that why they are called the compensated demand functions. So if you compare these one with the Marshallian demand functions, what's the difference? Marshallian demand functions were the money income held constant demand functions, because in those